Yeah, yeah, fucking asshole.
Vagini Panizio.
Should be streaming.
What are we gonna play?
Bada bing, boom,
Oh, okay.
boom,
That's what
bada bing, bada boom, bing, bam, boom, boom.
sounds like a scary vagina. Gungeon.
Gungeon.
Don't touch her. She's got a gungeon. She's got one of those gungeons.
Gungeons.
She's got table tits and a gungeon.
What's that? The new that's the is that the way they're saying Gundam these days?
Mobile suit gungeon. Did you ever watch? There was another Robotech one, Macross Plus.
Nuh-uh.
Those were the ones that halfway turn from a jet, but their little legs come down.
I never
They
saw
have
that.
Robotech legs coming off of a jet.
I was really into Zoids.
Zoids is awesome.
I used to buy and make every single one.
Zoids.
Zoids.
That's it could be an onomatopoeia or no, backwards word.
Like cars.
The race car.
Race car, yeah. Yeah, what is that called again? A stoner word? What is it?
Omnomnus. It's not onomatopoeia. Fuck. Palindrome.
Palindrome. What a fucked up
They
word for
Might
that.
Be Giants had a song about it. Do you like them?
You'd have to show me a song.
Istanbul was Constantinople. They're very nerdy. They were listening to myself.
Oops. Talking on that. I've got my sound system all set up on the from my PC to play down here. So
I love that. That's actually dope.
I gotta go stop.
Birdhouse syndrome. Oh no. You want to play some more musics? You gotta turn it on. The white power button. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, Mr. Gallegos, for giving you a device with a white power button. That's rude. Have you heard this, guys? They Might Be Giants. We're gonna get copyright striked.
I think that they might be giants. Well, copyright.
They might be litigious. They might be suing us. Look away, baby. Can I just think about smelling your pussy? Sweet naughty girl.
Dude, is K-Wob's really like
Nasty.
is that really a KKK restaurant?
I don't know.
Just reading their description, it sounded very conservative and southern.
It sounded pretty on the money.
We value our prideful heritage. We're not, don't take anything from that. It's just our prideful hooded heritage. Doesn't mean anything weird. Look, stop being paranoid. We just have a nice tree in the backyard on top of a hill.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that restaurant question.
Yeah.
God, what is there? I think I had the best food of my life whenever I turned 18 and like I moved to Amarillo and then that's when everything really opened up cuz there's good food in Amarillo, man. I think like
Amarillo.
some of the best food I've ever eaten is in Amarillo. Dude, there's a ramen place in Amarillo.
Slammin' ramen.
It's called Ichiban. Ichiban. No, dude. So it's been the same staff. It's just like one family. It's like 4 people, and they've had the same people working there for like 10 years plus. And they go to this like fucking convention in Japan. No, you go ahead. I appreciate it.
You don't like this game?
No, I love this game. I've just played it too much.
Oh.
I'm over it. Wow.
I don't even own a television. Where's my airship? Donnie, are you at the airship part yet? No. I think we just got Yuffie. We found a little girl in the woods and we made her our slave. It's cool. There's nothing weirdly Japanese about it. She's just a little girl in the woods that now belongs to me. And you issue her commands via the controller.
It's cool. She sticks around because there's a cool red dog.
Yeah. Somebody put a picture of Tifa and Yuffie on Reddit and was like, "These are our girls," and then everybody got mad, and they were like, "Yuffie's, Yuffie's underage, right? And you're a perv for saying those are your girls." But Yuffie is a series of ones and zeros and a code on the game.
Yeah. She's not boobs.
They-
She's binary.
You have to exist to be an age.
Trying to find a non-binary joke. Non-binary. She's non.
With this binary girl, she would only have sex with the lights on or off. I got a penis in my butt.
I got a penis in my butt. Okay, so I remember a restaurant.
Yeah.
It wasn't from my hometown, but it's one of my best.
Do you remember a restaurant?
So I went to Mexico one time when I was in like the 6th grade.
Yeah.
And we went like pretty deep in. I don't remember what city we were in, but it was like, it wasn't a border city. Like
Yeah.
we were like in the motherfucker.
All in the motherfucker. Yeah.
And we went downtown. There was like in Mexico, all of the cities have like a little square.
Yeah.
Where you,
Sorry.
no,
Trying to
you're
turn
fine.
that off.
Yeah, no worries. They have a square where you can essentially, like, everybody goes there to get married. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like one of those things, like in the park,
Yeah.
gazebo thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they have those in the old timey Americas too.
yeah.
Promenade across the hall.
Yes, exactly. The little.
The
They all have
vestibule.
they're all made of marble somehow. All the
Okay.
ones in Texas. But no, whenever I went over there, I had a street taco, like a legit.
The taco was like, "What's that?"
Yeah. Hey, bro.
Oh, you're a street taco.
It was like, no mames, güey. No, dude, that's just
And
I've
an
had
urban burrito.
I've had a billion tacos in my life, but nothing that will ever compare to the street tacos I had in Mexico. I still remember the flavor. It's like weird. It's like 18 years ago.
Puedo recordar el sabor.
Oh, and I remember like I think I was like 12 or 13, and everybody that was my age was fucking wasted.
Suck me off to my penis hole. What's it? So you thought of a different restaurant besides K-Bob?
Man, it sucks. My hometown didn't have great food. It was Amarillo. Amarillo has all the good food. Amarillo has my
This guy's
favorite
from-
Indian restaurant. It has my favorite.
Limoncello, Texas.
Dude, there's a place there called Tyler's Barbecue. Fucking shout out. Best barbecue I've had in my entire life. I go everywhere and I'm like, they don't.
Tyler. What's
Like-
up, Tyler?
I don't know.
My name's Tyler.
Like I even have barbecue in Austin, and I'm still not impressed. I know there's places here, surely, that will impress me, but I just haven't been to them.
They're Mexican places. They make the best barbecue.
I will say though, almost everything here slaps. I haven't really had very much bad food here.
Yeah, we have better versions of everything. We got Whataburgers better than McDonald's. We got pizza places. We got Thundercloud. Double Dave's Pizza's better than Pizza Hut or whatever we have on the East Coast.
Oh, I forgot about Pizza Hut. What I miss is the fucking
Taco Cabana's better than Taco Bell.
the personal pan pizzas for reading books.
Yes, read a book. Book it.
That was the shit.
Book it.
I would just I would lie about every single book that I read as a kid, and I was just so good at using.
Damn, you're lying about smoking weed, reading books.
Yeah, I'm a very double life motherfucker.
Henry
dude.
Rollins. I'm a liar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good at.
Damn it! I got to reboot OBS to get a screen. Okay, we're gonna drop off for a second, then we're gonna come back.
Old bitch sauce.
Oh, wait, no, there it goes. Okay, never mind.
I just fucked with it enough to
Wake
get
it up.
get it to give us the screen. So now we should have Final Fantasy on the screen.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Cloud when he was gay. It was Cloud before he got pussy.
So when did you move to Austin?
No, September 2023.
Okay, 23. But before that, you were in Amarillo.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do
Where were
comedy
you
in
during
Amarillo?
9/11?
For 6 months.
What's
Yeah.
that like? What's that scene like?
It's extremely small, but the comics there are really good.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I started with. I've seen a couple since I left who are like, not very good. Not in a bad way or anything.
Yeah.
But when I was there, the other 4 or 5 comics that were in the scene were like really good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of just new guys. Is my point. You know, there's a lot of but no hate. You know, they just don't have a lot of mics down there. They get to do like fucking like 2 a week or
It's a
something.
I mean,
mic.
there's a comedy
can
club
go
or
to it.
two in Amarillo, isn't there?
Mm-mm.
There's
There-
no comedy club in Amarillo.
Uh-uh.
Really?
Uh-uh.
Isn't it? Isn't it like
Amarillo doesn't like love art.
I thought. Isn't there like 300,000 people in Amarillo? Or
Yeah,
something?
but
there
they're
should
not.
be a comedy club there.
They're not very cultural there about
About
the
the
whole.
giggle
But,
pit.
you know, I'm gonna be real. Like they don't. You know, like if it ain't a blues band, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
one of those things. You know?
Sounds like a blues song.
Like don't get me wrong, there's
Yeah,
like there's
fuck.
like 100 people that live in that town and they all hang out at one coffee shop and they all like, they were all on
Yeah.
Tumblr back in the day, but it's just them. It's not like like this thriving force. Every time there's like a bar that starts having like shows for like rock bands or metal bands, it exists for a couple of months and then it goes out of business. You know.
Sounds like where I'm from, but I thought that Amarillo was a bigger city that had more, I guess culture. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, unfortunately not. It's big on like the southern culture, like Texas. They got a lot of
Yeah.
rodeo and
Oh,
cattle.
yeah.
and-
yeah, they got a lot of that stuff going on.
Yeah, but no, they don't have a lot of. It is cool though because the whole comedy scene is controlled primarily by comedians who have been doing it for like, 6, 7, 8 years or so.
I took 4 years of Spanish in school. I took it 2 years in middle school, 2 years in high school. Somehow it wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I realized that Amarillo means yellow.
Buddy.
Yeah. I don't know if I just never saw the word for yellow or I just never heard it, or amarillo, never thought
Yeah,
Amarillo.
It's because they don't say it the same.
But somehow, yeah, I didn't realize until way too late that just means yellow. That
You
is
know
the
what
name of that town.
Manhattan really means?
I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that it took me a long time to figure that out too, and I'm Mexican. And
What does Manhattan
spoke
mean?
Spanish.
Please stop stealing our island.
Yeah.
No, dude, but like whenever I started doing comedy there, or really I wasn't even doing comedy. I was just going to comedy shows because I'm just such a big fan of comedy.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, I still keep up with as many people as I can. I watch all of their specials, even if I don't fucking like it. I'm like, I'll get to the end just to see.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Mitch Fatel. Remember Mitch Fatel?
Hmm?
Remember Mitch Fatel? Fatel?
Mm-mm.
He's awkward. 2004.
Mm.
Whiny voice.
Might have
He was
been
a perv.
a little before I kind of figured it out, if I'm being honest. Well, before at least I started looking at stuff on the internet, really. Because if it wasn't on the internet, that was the only way that I got exposed to it.
He said, I had a girl call me and tell me she was pregnant. And I told her, the number you have reached has been disconnected.
It's a very Stephen Wright sounding joke. No, but in my town he lives here now. Do y'all know Clemente Villegas?
Mm-mm.
He's from my town. He was one of the first comics that I ever saw. I always loved telling him that I was taking a shit before I did a show.
Yeah.
I was in a metal band and I was taking a shit, and they had him on the stage, like pre-gaming the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I heard his set for the very first time while I was taking a shit. I remember he was doing a Caitlyn Jenner joke. And I just remember thinking, oh man, I can't wait to tell him I heard him while I was taking a poop. Maybe he'll think that's funny. But he's part of he was part of this like group. They called it Yellow City Comedy because that's what they call everything there is Yellow City because of Amarillo. But it comprised of like 5 comics. It's Clemente, Gabe, Colin, Saul, and a guy named Kevin. And they're all fucking really good, man. Just really fucking good. One of them, like, he's an older black southern dude, like drives trucks and
Curtis McGillicuddy.
like very like sudden, like I want a gun, I don't give a fuck, like one of those dudes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just does crowd work for like an hour, dude, and just destroys. And it's like good, like he's like creating a narrative from table to table, and everybody's going to be a part of this table, and now they all know each other.
Nice.
And he just keeps connecting the tissues of everybody's personal lives, and it's
Nice.
like it's more than just little quips. Like he's very like if I'm being honest with you, you know, like whenever y'all hear like Patrice on like Opie and Anthony, and he spits like real shit, that's how his sets were, where he starts getting all like fucking like he has like a bunch of wisdoms in it. You know what I mean? He'll be like unless she's a gold star lesbian, that ain't a lesbian. You know what I mean? Like, and then he'll fucking go
Yeah.
into it for like 10 minutes, and he's like saying this to a table of lesbians. You know what I mean? Like,
He's got something for everybody.
One time, Josh and I started doing a little game back and forth over text called Make Twitter Screech in 4 words.
mm-hmm.
We back whenever Twitter was liberal.
Yeah.
And one of mine was lesbians are just mad.
Lesbians are just rad. I actually genuinely believe that. My ex, fuck, dude. She like dated like several girls in her life, and then she dated like they would always be like little like quick relationships, 7-8 months or so at the most. And then we dated for like 4 years, and then towards the end of our relationship, I remember she tried to tell me, "Yeah, I think I'm just a lesbian." I was like, "No, you're not. I've heard the things you've said with my dick in your hand. You are not just a lesbian." Yeah. Anyway.
I heard you say the things.
You
with
like
my
girls
dick in
too,
your
but-
hand.
Don't get me wrong, people are bi. I'm not, denying that, but you know what I mean? It's like you can't. Lesbians don't say the things I've heard you say.
If you could hear the things.
It's like there are some lesbians that I believe, and there are some
Yeah.
lesbians
Dick
that
is
I
in your
don't believe,
hand.
or
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, you like girls, but you're gonna end up married to a guy with kids.
Yeah, they're always the ones who like had like an ex that like
You got
did
trans
something
hips.
wrong.
Yeah,
That's what it was with us. Is I was just I just at a certain point in our relationship, I was annoying, a drunk, and an asshole. It's
yeah.
like you're not. This isn't like this like deeper sexuality thing. It's like
Fuck you.
you wouldn't have sucked my dick as much as you did if you were a lesbian.
I'm mad at you, and so you're all men.
Yeah. Dude, I remember she tried telling me that there was a.
It's a prism.
She's like, I saw on TikTok.
I
That-
on TikTok.
I saw that on TikTok that like there's this societal pressure for lesbians to date men, and I think that that's what I did with you. And I was like, okay, you can feel like that because of a fucking TikTok you saw, but I'm just sorry, lesbians don't do what you did, you know. You can't convince me of that. Lesbians exist, I think, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely the ones that wear tuxedos to weddings.
Oh
are
yeah,
real
that's a
lesbians.
real dyke right there.
That's a lesbian. The one, the flat top, the buzz cut,
yeah.
or whatever.
Or like the
the-
baristas that dress like they're like train engineers from the 1800s.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a real lesbian.
Yeah.
You know.
The ones that are pretty, but there's just something not.
Okay, a couple of those are real lesbians.
Yeah, so I have across the street. I have 2 women who are lesbians who live together or whatever, and you can look at them and like from far away it looks like a normal straight woman, but when they get closer, there's something about like the lack of.
Body fat. Have you ever noticed they're all petite?
The
They're all
lack
like
of-
really,
yeah.
really, really petite.
It's like they're not big makeup people. They're not big hair girls.
Yeah.
They look like they just they,
It sounds crazy, but you know how like you've seen a couple of guys where like literally like it's almost like genetically you can tell they're gay.
yeah.
Like certain Mexican guys, like when they have like really thin hair and they drive a fucking like old Mustang.
I just want to be on your show, Ricky.
You know, they're like almost bald and they like their eyebrows are like paper thin.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like you're like that guy's gay and I can see it genetically.
Hank Azaria. From
There is
Warehouse.
that in lesbians too. It's
Yeah.
just a lot more rare.
Yeah.
Or like the Mexican girls with like the fucking the tight ponytail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
The
about?
surprise
the
ponytail.
super tight ponytail.
Yeah.
The
That's a
surprise
real
tale.
lesbian.
Yeah. No, there were a
She
couple
looks
girls,
surprised all the
even
time.
from like elementary school. We were like, oh, she's pretty, but it's like she's not pretty for me.
Yeah.
You know, like she would be pretty if she. It's that deep in your psyche. She would be pretty if she were straight, but you're 10 years old and you don't know that. It's just that there's something. And then she gets her hair cut short when you're about 11
Yes.
or 12.
They get the guy cut, and they have
Yeah.
those. They have the silver framed
Yeah.
oval glasses.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, oh. Josh's daughter went through that phase.
They dress like Paul Wall.
Yeah, she had a boy haircut for a long time.
Yep. I shaved her head.
Yeah.
Teenagers are like weird now because they all grew up with like Steven Universe,
Yeah, right.
and so like now they all look like Who people. You know what I mean? You see
Like-
anyone
like-
young and their like noses are like shaped weird, like they all. I don't know.
All right, sounds good. Stream sounds good.
Stream sounds good.
It's real.
Steven Universe. Yeah, right. And so like now they all look like Who people.
Your our new idea for a stream is that you listen to the stream that we streamed
It's called
45 seconds ago on the
Streamception.
stream.
On the stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Streamception.
That's our new thing.
I like that. It's like gay fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, something else I realized that I just have to admit at this point to everybody recently is that I can't remember the last time I was impressed by a woman's tattoo. And as a matter of fact, I think I kind of don't like it when chicks have tattoos now, because they all have tattoos, and I just don't think I'm.
It's
into
interesting
chicks. I want a
'cause-
chick who doesn't have any tattoos.
Yeah,
I
actually,
want a
kinda
woman
like
who
that.
I would marry a woman that doesn't have any tattoos.
It's
I
funny because
want
that
a
was my
chick
type for most of my life.
Yeah.
It was like the the classic Austin-esque hippie girl. That's what I wanted my entire life.
Yeah.
But now I know their political views.
They know
Yeah,
that
now they're- now
you know
it's-
that everything is your fault.
Yeah, exactly. As mentioned earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a box of
Oh,
complaints right there.
I got a couple.
What? Welcome to the new therapy show. Talk to someone. Hey,
phone is giving you therapy.
talk to somebody.
Contribute to any given situation. You're not solely responsible for everything that happens. Everyone
Okay.
makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Being human means making
Thanks.
errors. That's how we learn and grow. Self-compassion is essential.
That's how your penis learns and
Be kind
grows.
to yourself. Acknowledge your
Maybe my
mistakes,
penis
but
needs to
don't
learn
dwell on
from
it
its
in a
mistakes so it can
destructive
grow.
way. It is possible to change.
My
If
penis
you
needs to
have made
grow as a
mistakes,
person.
You are able to learn from them and change your behavior in the future. If you find yourself constantly blaming yourself, it might be helpful to talk to a therapist or
Stop talking all smart.
I'm gonna be real. I was just talking to like some.
and a more balanced perspective.
So somehow my AI assistant heard you say everything is your fault, and it decided to give you some advice.
Wow.
That was a lot of fucking advice.
I'm gonna be real. I called that gay, but like 2 hours ago at Mothership, I was just saying the exact same thing to some buddies of mine. I was like, dwelling makes your day worse. When you have like like even if something bad happens to you, I think it's so fucking weak to just make it a part of someone else's day too. I'm like, oh great, now
Yeah.
3 of us had a bad day. You fucking pussy.
Well, it depends if the person who you're making it part of their day too is an asshole.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
true. Because then
Yeah.
might as well bring them in. Fuck them.
Yeah, so that was one of the last times I was on stage last year because I haven't been on stage in a long time. One of my jokes was, you know how they say that if you run into an asshole in the morning, you ran into an asshole, but if you run into an assholes all day, then you're the asshole. I'm like, that can't be true every time, right? Because I'm not an asshole, and I run into assholes all day. That's the short version of it. I was trying,
I like the-
that's
I like
really,
the-
statistically or whatever, but like
I
was
like the sarcasm of that.
yeah.
You know, I haven't done a thing. You're reminding me. I haven't done stuff like that. I had one joke ever that was like really like the point is it's overly sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing now I haven't wrote a joke like that in a really long time, and I kind of
Yeah.
want to do it because I used to say like if y'all notice how like the homeless people downtown are a lot more aggressive than usual lately. I noticed that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they're also pissed about the housing crisis.
Negative pissed.
And I just haven't done that in a long time. That was like one of my first jokes ever that worked. I wrote that like
Yeah.
when I first got here, back when I had nothing. Dude, when I tell you guys, I really want to show it. We need to like, y'all need to see a set from me when I first moved here one of these days.
Oh yeah, you have some on recorded.
Oh, I have every set I ever did.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've recorded. If it's not audio or it's video, it's
Nice.
something.
Yeah.
But horrible. Not one punchline in sight.
Horrible.
Oh yeah. What when you were here one of the last times you said that you didn't understand how to tell a joke
Yeah.
until for like the first however long that you were just doing stand up. You had to learn how to even have punchlines.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't even know that stand-up comedy was jokes.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought jokes was like what my uncle would tell me, like during Thanksgiving every now and then. Like, so there's a guy and there's a girl and the da 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 da. And I didn't realize that like stand-up comedy was just a very secretive way of having like a billion of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just didn't know that. Even like being as big of a fan as I was, getting into doing stand-up comedy, I didn't realize that like. You know, they would say, yeah, it's just jokes, folks. It's just jokes. But I thought they meant just jokes as in, like, I'm joking around. I'm kidding. Like, you know, like how, like, Mark Normand, like how he'll do, like, a joke. He's like, I'm just joking, folks. Just joking. I thought that was just like a way of, another way of saying, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't realize that he was actually telling, like, jokes, like street jokes, you know?
Yeah.
And that there's a setup and a punchline. Yeah, that was a game changer for me.
You and your friends are just fuck around guys. All you guys do is fuck around. I'm like, yes, that's what I looked for, guys like that, so that I could hang out with them. That's what I want to do is fuck around.
It's crazy because I remember telling a girlfriend that I was trying to get to watch a Bill Burr special with me. I was just so obsessed. I just wanted her. She'd never seen
That's in a
stand-up
week.
comedy.
That's in less than a week.
What?
Hulu.
Oh, Hulu.
Bill Burr's Hulu. Hilarious. This is in less than a week.
Oh, the new one?
Drop Dead Years.
Bro, is it going to be on Disney Plus since it's on Hulu?
Yes.
Yes. I have Disney Plus.
Except the billionaires are angry with Bill Burr. So maybe not.
Yeah, Elon Musk and all them are really mad at Bill Burr.
He said he was going to eat them.
Why?
'Cause he said we should eat them.
Oh, Bill Burr? Really?
Because he's been saying that like millionaires need to be shot like rabid dogs.
Oh, I heard that podcast.
Anytime I go out now.
Yeah, I love Bill Burr, but you can tell he's also like still living around a bunch of wokesters because he like spreads their like horse shit too.
Yeah, what's
And
up,
you can tell he
Wokester?
says it in like a very uninformed way.
This is what I'm gonna wear out. I know what you're talking about, dude.
Nice.
Mario's brother is my favorite character.
It's like that was clearly a Nazi salute. Clearly. I mean, he clearly wants the eradication of Jews. I could see it on his face. It's like, shut up, Bill. Everything you say is correct right now. Shut up.
Stop being right all the time.
He's like, I mean, what?
Now all the right-wing people on Twitter are saying that like his wife is cucked him, and that he's a pussy now, and that she made him woke in DEI because she's black and she's
Oh.
liberal. I mean, she's basically a California white black chick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
California
Go fucking
white
figure.
black chick.
Go figure. I mean,
Can I just smell the pussy?
Whenever she's on the podcast with him, it's always been this way. He's funnier because he gets funnier to try and make her laugh.
right. No, it's one of those things too, man. Like, you know, I'll be honest. Like, even like I like listening to Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
And every now and then he starts going off on his little like woke tangents. I mean, can you believe this shit? Can you fucking believe they want to let a billionaire? You know, like, and it's like, it's one of those things where I love them and I love their art and everything, but if they're going to have like the little woke spats, just let them. I don't hate the person anymore. It doesn't undo like years of fandom. I just won't agree with that part of what they said. And I heard I heard Bill Burr say that on his podcast. I remember him saying like, oh, I think they should be all shot, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, whatever. I disagree with you on that, but whatever. Like, it doesn't change how I feel about him. I could see why for some people, though, they hear that and they're like, he's fucking changed, you know?
Well, there's some crybaby ass right-wing people.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
as bad, especially now that they've got like a lot of the cultural power back.
Yeah, because now you can play victim to it.
Now they're throwing the biggest fits about like
Yeah.
anti-Christian, blah blah blah. Just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so now you're acting like the.
Yeah, now you're acting like the woke people, the liberal cunts that you hate. It's such pussy shit. You're just finding a way to be a victim to the other side to get them in trouble, and it's weak. What it is, it's weak because you're not using like an actual argument to. Also, you're just trying to generalize the person to one thing that they said.
That's really easy engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, so you
Yeah.
can be mad about something. Look at what this leftist whatever said, and then you get lots of attention
It's the same thing they did to Tony at Antone's. Whenever he said, whenever he did that bit about that Asian guy.
Oh, that guy was a giant.
Yeah, that guy was a super pussy about it.
Shouldn't have a comedy career after doing shit that he did.
I'm kind of happy that he doesn't. Fuck you.
California white black chick.
Has to do that, right? Anybody who has to do that, it's like whenever all you hear about when a movie's coming out, and leading up to the movie coming out, all you hear about is how horrible and shitty and bigoted the fans are, and
Right.
how mean they're being to the black girl who's in the movie.
Right.
That means the movie's bad.
California white black chick.
Right.
It never works. It never makes the movie not flop. You know.
Sure.
It's happened 15 times over the past since Ghostbusters. Where that all the women Ghostbusters.
Sure.
Every single time, anytime you start
Gashbusters.
they're being harassed or there's racists or whatever, that means the movie's bad.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie where that's the story going into it, where the movie's actually.
Yeah, they were racist, and it was a great movie. you never you never hear that.
Well, then you have people trying to say it was a good movie in order
Yeah.
to counteract the, you know.
Yeah, they're using it as like a jumping off point. It's like they were so shitty on set, and can you believe because it was a great movie? That's the tragedy. It's like no. It's like
That's woke Jordan Peterson. How about Jordan Peterson defends the female Ghostbusters? They're just angry incels in their basement.
well, you know, they're just angry incels, and they just don't like a movie with strong women.
Gosh darn it. Bucko.
It's damn tough. It's tough to make a movie with tough women.
And the bloody incels.
These bloody incels don't want them to do good in this bad movie. I'm sorry, good movie.
This week on Woke Island, Cynthia doesn't want Tree Branch to hurt the coconut's feelings, so they can't have dinner on Woke Island.
I want to see a skit where it's Survivor, but it's all of those characters. It's like Lex Friedman, Joe Rogan, and Jordan Peterson.
Nigel Farnstein?
Yeah, we'll throw them in there. Why not? Sprinkle in a couple of other figs.
Spencer Bronsteinst.
Well, you know, I think if we split the wood, put a little cotton in the middle, we may be able to make a fire. But you won't know if you don't try. Somehow Bill Maher's in the back. Okay. I can't do a Bill Maher.
Somebody, who was it? One of the guys, I guess he was just on Kill Tony as the guest. He did a Bill Maher.
Kyle Dunnigan, dude.
Kyle Dunnigan, and it was pretty good.
Kyle Dunnigan is the best impressionist I think
He's good.
ever, like of all time, in existence, anything. He's fucking hilarious. Even maybe I should rephrase it. He's the funniest impressionist in my opinion. He's also just a great joke writer, man.
To me, the best impressionist is Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, you're right.
Funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, dude, when he does fucking Madden.
Yeah, his band's really good.
Boom. Then boom.
He's like,
We got that guy, and he's around that guy. And boom, you got a touchdown. Like Brian Cox. I'm not sucking at his cock.
There's another guy. There's Frank Caliendo, and then there's another guy that has like the AI podcast. What's his name? It's called like Doozy or Whimsy or something like that.
Zesty.
The guy who did the Michael Jackson one was like, "I'd never hurt children." Just kidding. You know I was fucking them kids.
Probably, yeah. He's another white guy who kind of looks like Frank Caliendo.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was on like Mad TV or something. Did a bunch of comedy movies. God, that guy's fucking funny.
Sucking me off to my penis hole.
God, what the fuck is that guy's name? It's gonna bother me all day.
I gotta go back
Yeah,
to,
Frank Caliendo is one of the best. Kyle Dunnigan, man, I just think there's something about the way that he. I think it's because there's a lot of deep sarcasm.
He got me with the Kardashians one. Where they're like,
Yeah. I like God. When is
Maybe it was Dunnigan that did the Michael Jackson one. Let me see.
That was, yeah, the mom. Why don't you guys sex Miss Pax?
Dude, when he does Caitlyn Jenner too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys sex Miss Pax.
What's going
Yeah,
on?
here it is. Yeah.
HBO documentary about me is filled with lies and ignorance. I would never hurt children. I love sleeping with little boys, that's all. Just a grown man sleeping with a little boy. Of course I fuck them kids. Come on. It's so obvious. I was a good pedophile too, huh? I built a whole amusement park and candy store, and I say, "You kids like candy?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, we like it." I'm like, "Yeah, you like it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, tell your mom to get the fuck out of here." Then they did. I was like, "Oh shit!" Didn't y'all notice I only slept with little cute boys, not little girls, not little ugly boys? Just cute little motherfucking tight ass boys. Well, better get back to heaven. I got in because I apologized right before I died. Damn the rules. Bye.
Yeah,
God.
Kyle Dunnigan did that like
I'd like
right,
to address
right
this
when the Finding
horrible-
Neverland documentary came out.
God, that's
it
so
was good.
funny,
Yeah,
dude.
that's Kyle Dunnigan. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
That's what you see what I'm saying,
Yeah,
man?
he's so
Like
funny.
his writing is so spectacular. And when you just hear him do his stand-up comedy, it's interesting because it's like just as good. It's just him. I think there's something interesting where like I don't know. It's gonna come off as hate. Like like how a lot of people like Adam Ray as Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And then when he does Adam Ray, like his own stand-up comedy, it's like a different thing. He's like
Right.
doing like ADHD like comedy, where he's like
Yeah.
really fast and he like kind of like speeds up on you, and he's like
Yeah.
really like blah, blah, blah,
We
blah.
saw him close the show at Buzzmill, but right before he started doing the Dr. Phil thing, we saw him close the show at Buzzmill, and so we had his Adam Ray, his what he was doing before that.
Right, but it's a lot different. I feel like his like even the writing is different when he just does his act. Like it's a different like joke style even.
Yeah.
I always really described it as like ADD comedy, ADHD comedy.
Yeah.
Like it's really fast and really like I keep using the word sarcastic too much, but
I don't have a character of a gay Italian guy. This is Vesuvio. This is Sylvester Vesuvio.
but I feel like Kyle Dunnigan's impression humor is a lot like his act as well.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
I think he was. I think he was on a lot of different things as a writer. Yeah, like he comes from that like world where he was already kind of like in the business of comedy, like behind the scenes business.
The one who did the weird, awkward sitcom things with Dougie. It's
I
like
don't know.
it's like let's see, what's it called? Again.
Dude, you know who else does really really great impressions and people kind of don't like talk about it? Is
Puff
y'all know
Daddy.
that
Puff Daddy
Tyler?
acted like he wasn't gay for a long time. He did good.
Is it Tyler Fisher? Is his name? Do y'all know that name? He's like a very southern.
I don't think so.
He's kind of like a newer. He's in like today's day and age, but he's like a younger guy. I think he's like in his like mid-30s.
Okay.
And a lot of his stuff, like he's like a straight up Republican.
Kyle Mooney is the person I was thinking.
Oh,
of.
okay, okay.
Yeah, Kyle Mooney's the one who does the. Yeah, it's Kyle's. All those Kyles.
Will you look up Tyler Fisher real quick if you don't mind? I want to see if that's the person I'm thinking of. He like has like kind of like a handlebar mustache, sort of.
Dixon
See, when we have a
Dennis.
game going, we need a second monitor for the game, so we can have a thing that we're looking at there. That may need to be an upgrade I do to the studio. Here.
Control center with just screens all over the wall like Dr. Evil.
This guy.
$1 million
Oh, wait, no.
screens.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this guy, if y'all get a chance, check out. He put out a special like right after the election.
Yeah, my name's Tyler Fisher.
Okay.
Dude, he's fucking good. Really funny, and he has a couple of impressions. Like he does a really good Jordan Peterson as well.
Nice.
I'm a Mormon and I listen
Like
to
a fucking on the
Two
money
Live Crew.
Jordan Peterson too. You know what I mean? Like he's doing like the fingers like. Well, you know.
What?
And then he'll do like that thing with his eyebrows. Usually. You know.
You've heard the Compound, Jordan Peterson, right?
Bucko.
Uh-uh.
Oh my God, I've got to put that on
Oh,
for
I
you.
penis,
I was
Bucko.
real late to Come Town, dude.
I feel like I was because I only started listening to him in like 21, so I only got a year of it actually being on.
See, I wasn't even like listening to like. I was real surface value when it came to podcasts. I was only
Yeah.
listening to like Joe Rogan and like Bobby Lee for the longest time.
Right.
He sent me this video where Jordan Peterson goes, and I think that if you look at autism, and, I mean, there's a theory that autism is actually an overexposure to testosterone in the womb. So you could deduce from that autism is hypermasculinity.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all those jacked autistic.
I that's the thing. It's like I don't really fuck with Jordan Peterson, but his whole thing is like, let's call things what they are.
Is that what he sounds like? I've never heard
Yeah,
him speak.
he sounds like air slowly leaking out of an already like week-old balloon.
3 days after the birthday party
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah.
shit.
After
Oh,
your
man.
infant died the day after its birthday, and you left the balloons on the floor of your efficiency apartment, you pick up one of those balloons and you slowly let the air out. It's like trans people aren't real. But his whole thing is like, let's call a spade or
right,
whatever,
right. None of this PC
And it's like,
shit.
actually, autistic people are hyper masculine.
Right. Is he autistic?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the people that sit around watching television shows for 4-year-old girls that will be permanently dependent on their mother and can never leave home.
Actually, autistic people have very big dicks.
Yeah.
They're actually the guys that fuck the most.
It's actually gay to get pussy. It's a study that I've done recently. Here at the University of Canada, I ran a study that says that if your dick is under 4 inches, it's actually big. If your dick is over 8, then it's small. And so if you're an autistic retard with a 4-inch dick, you're actually the smartest, most fuckable guy in the world. And if women don't have sex with you, they should be in jail. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.
Woo! Mr. Peterson, thank you. Mr. Peterson, question? Question from the audience, Mr. Peterson?
Nick
What about my
Mullen, dude.
dick? How does this look to you?
It's smaller than mine. I don't need to look at it, but I have the biggest dick.
Dude,
Please give me money.
there's this local comic. I always forget his fucking name because all I can think of is Nick Mullen. He literally looks identical.
Yeah, that's Wilson. He was here the other day.
Oh, is he here?
Yeah.
He looks identical to Nick Mullen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And his voice even sounds like him.
He's more like
he even kind of like talks like a little kind of like,
Yes, relax.
I swear to God, he like, when I talk to him, I feel like I'm being like fooled, like pranked. I'm like, did somebody
Am
like?
I being punked? I'm on MTV.
Yeah.
He came over and we looked up shit on the internet for 30 minutes. When we had to cut him short because that's when we went to the San Marcos show. So I told him he'd have to come back and do an actual full night with us sometime.
Look, Table
Cool.
Tits doesn't come out every night. We gotta go
Yeah.
on Thursday. That's when Table Tits is out, prowling the grounds.
Am I the only one that thinks that he like sounds like him too?
Oh, bad. But it's
Like
not
like when Nick Mullen's like, well, I feel like that dude does the same fucking thing.
He has that. Nick Mullen has that kind of drawl, that kind of like detached,
Yeah.
apathetic drawl
Uh-huh.
to him. That, you know who else? I don't know if again you're younger than me, but from in the '90s all the way up to the mid 2000s, Adam Carolla hosted Loveline with Dr. Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam had a lot of.
in the time of Adam Carolla.
Yeah, he back before he turned like right wing Tucker Carlson idiot.
Right.
But he had the same kind of like detached, kind of almost don't give a shit, and also he was really his improv. It's improv stuff off the top of his head.
Really?
He was really good at that. It reminds me a little bit of that kind of detached,
Yeah.
sarcastic, but also just.
I actually feel
Don't
like
give a
Heath
shit.
is good at doing that.
Yeah, Heath can do that
in the
too,
way
yeah.
that Heath can
And it
Like
was in
I've
those
seen Heath
days.
laugh over a joke that he's telling me. Like
Yeah.
I've seen him like laugh as he's telling me, and then I've seen him go on stage and he's like, "Yeah, so I I recently like caught my mom masturbate," or whatever the joke is. Like the way he does it. He just has this way of being able to do it that's very deadpan that I can't do even if I try to do it. Like it's very contrived. And it comes off natural, like he just like was talking like that, and you know what I mean, like was in
White
just a
people.
chill mood.
White people don't have passion like you. You have hot Latino passion.
I don't know what this passion is. It just
I don't know what is passion. Hey, oh
Dude.
my god.
when I'm being like really expressive,
Mhm.
like in emotional, every time I do it, I feel like I'm like overacting. But I'm just
Acting
being
is
me. But I have
reacting.
this thing where I feel like whoever's looking at me probably thinks I'm being like I'm overacting right now. It's the weirdest thing.
I'm just being me.
I think I'm also hyper aware of that because of comedy now.
Hyper aware of it because you accidentally saw one of your sister's TikTok videos. You're like, oh God!
Yeah.
I hope you don't think I'm that.
God, it's so true. That's probably what it is. I've seen myself in a video and I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, that natural delivery is, especially whenever it's on camera, is kind of one of the hardest things. When there's like lots of people watching you, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to
You know.
go have a natural delivery. I had too much.
We should buy waterfront property and
Those guys are fags.
Well, we actually did a study. That was so funny. It turns out if your dick is 4 inches, it's actually big. That's so
Gay to
funny.
get pussy.
It's actually gay to get pussy. God, that's such a fun.
it's actually gay to get pussy.
Yeah, it's actually gay to get
Which
pussy.
of course turned into a catchpage on their subreddit and all
Really?
that stuff. Oh yeah. Like,
Oh,
there's-
that's
there's
awesome.
a million. There's a
Yeah,
million
my
of
dick is
those for
small.
them.
I feel like if I'm ever down in life, I just need to go back and listen to Come Town because everything they say makes me fucking die of
If you're
laughter.
ever down
Dude, the
in
fucking Steve guy, what a fun rabbit hole. Was it Steve?
No, Tom Myers.
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom.
Steve
Jesus Christ, that is so funny.
Tom
Dude,
Myers
there's-
is an absolute legend
I listened to him on Lewis's podcast too, like the whole fucking
with
thing.
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, with Tim Dillon.
Yeah, it's like it was funny how he couldn't like his trying to riff with him was just he's so has no humor to him at all that he can try and he can make the sounds like he's riffing.
It's funny because when it's on its own and they're making fun of it or whatever, I'm like with the boys, I'm laughing at it, right? I can laugh at it with them. When he was in the podcast with them and I'm like seeing like someone like Tim Dillon like mock him to his face and he doesn't even realize it. After that I just kind of felt bad. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, well,
poor guy, he doesn't even know it." Like
But the thing is that like somehow he knows it, but has such an insane ego
right.
that he just bulldozes over it in his mind.
Well, that's the thing is like I started to empathize. Once you see Tim Dillon like fucking mock someone like 100 times to their face and they're like not responding.
Yeah.
The thing is even at a certain point it occurred to me I was like even if you knew these people that you're in a room with are such good comedians and you want to fit in, you probably would like just pretend like you have to like convince yourself that
Yeah.
it's not
No,
that
he,
it's not
he
mockery.
keeps that demeanor about him that like
Yeah.
I almost like I am better than these guys. It's like it's almost like you can still tell that he thinks that he's a better comedian.
Yeah,
than
that's
even
actually
like
true.
Tim Dillon.
It,
so
it does cancel it all when he does
Yeah.
that when he does that stuff.
Eric, you did a good Jesselnick impression.
Jesselnick.
yeah,
What's,
4-year-old girl or whatever
Oh,
it was
yeah.
that you said.
So in my neighborhood, there's this 9-year-old girl.
That's pretty good.
What? Okay. What is it? What does he say? He's like, what's the fucking joke? I'm forgetting it. There's this 9-year-old girl with a glass eye. Scares the shit out of me. Every time, I don't know why I can't do it now that I'm on the spot. Sorry. Normally I don't give a shit, but I can't think of the actual joke.
Well, you can do Anthony Jeselnik, Final
Anthony.
Fantasy, Star Wars porn.
Jesselnick.
How about that? We're having an improv show. Give me 3 things: Anthony Jeselnik, Star Wars, and Final Fantasy porn.
Now I want to look up Star Wars porn. That sounds cool.
Chocobo.
So there's this girl named Leia. scares the dick into me. I'm gay. No, actually, I think if you listen, no, I can't do him when he's like yelling.
Yeah.
You know, if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast,
Yeah.
you're a fucking moron. He had a good joke about that. Did y'all hear that in the latest special?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and I like Joe Rogan. It's one of my friends. I don't think he says that. I like Anthony, but I also like how much of a hater he is. He's kind of I think he's a little bit addicted to being what's that word that they would call Steven Crowder when you just want to disagree?
Contrarian?
Yes, contrarian.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of a bit of a contrarian because he just seems to be a contrarian on everything.
I think he's I think that he should talk less about that's not how you do comedy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, does he say that?
Yeah, he kind of because and I mean the thing is that I tend to mostly agree with what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's not Anthony Jeselnik to ask to just get up there and say something really offensive. There's more layers to it. There's more of an
No.
art to it, right?
I meant kind of like off act, like not in his act.
Yeah, well,
I don't feel like he's a contrarian in his act. I feel like when he's
Yeah.
just like when he starts
Right.
telling like his opinions and
yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
what I'm talking about.
It's like he disagrees with everyone. It's like
yeah,
you know.
and he likes to really like hit it with a scalpel on what dark humor actually is.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. Yeah, because I've noticed
He doesn't say the phrase that I think that tells me that you don't understand comedy and humor, which is punching up and punching down.
Oh,
he doesn't say
yeah.
that, but he still follows that kind of
motif.
that philosophy of it, which is there's no problem with that, obviously.
Sure.
But
I mean,
that's a way too simplistic way to look at comedy. It's like that's putting way too many rules on what is and isn't funny.
sure. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I have a Jeselnik joke. You want to hear my Jeselnik joke?
Scares the
I thought it was really nice that Christian Bale visited the survivors of the Aurora shooting in the hospital because the non-survivors got to visit Heath Ledger.
I like that.
You did that joke like the week after it happened.
Yeah, it was
Did he
too
really?
soon.
What? Too
You did it at Frank.
Those who
at that,
survived.
Too
You have to say-
soon.
At Frank at that showcase you
Yeah,
did.
you have to say those who survived. Christian Bale visited those who survived the Aurora shooting, and those who didn't survive got a visit from Heath Ledger.
I like that. That's a much better way of saying it.
Also, I'm gay, and there's a fire in the hospital.
Maternity ward.
God, I wanted to quote so many Jeselnik jokes, and they're all escaping me.
Shallow
Damn it.
chicks. Shallow chicks is a Jeselnik joke. I had to stop dating this girl. She had a 1-inch vaginal cavity. I don't like shallow chicks.
There's this. Do y'all know Law Kroger? He's this really good, kind of like a one-liner comic. I mean, maybe not a one-liner comic, but they're like, in the way they call like Jeselnik, kind of like a short one-liner guy. Like they're not long stories. He always kind of has like it's like joke.
Yeah.
Law has a lot of stuff like that too, and they always have a really good turn at the end. I remember the first time that I ever heard Law, I wanted to write something like him because I just thought his joke writing was so good. And I could just feel the way he did his cadence. I didn't necessarily because he'll do a thing where he kind of says a joke and he says it in this way with like a heightened way of saying his like tonality, and then you think the joke's over and then he gives you the turn, and then he brings the voice down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, and I remember just afterwards I tried. I only did it once because afterwards I was afraid if it's too on the money, it's gonna seem like a ripoff type thing. But I tried to write one where I said, so lately whenever I go out with a girl, it's escaping me. So lately whenever I take a girl on a date, I like to throw on some Kendrick Lamar just to make sure she's really cool. with me singing the N-word.
yeah.
And you know, like how you like to make sure they're really cool with me singing the N-word. You know, it's like you think it's the end of the sentence, and then there's like the rest of the sentence. You know.
Yeah.
He has a lot of stuff in a way where I feel like I always thought that was the last thing he was gonna say, and then he gives you the turn, and it has this Jeselnik-esque tone to it that I feel like I can only compare. You know, like they're not the same, but it's like it reminds me of like the level of turn I feel like Law can do one like that good. He's really good, man. He was coming to Delilah's for a while, and that was when I first met him. And when he first came on, he did I remember we had like 4 minutes, and I was like, dude, from now on you get 5, like every time. Like your shit's great. I can tell you're like trying shit, and I'm not even shitting you. A month later, he was at the mothership.
Yeah.
And a month after that, he gets pulled on Kill Tony. They're like, you're fucking great. We want you to do the arena whenever we go to the HEB Center.
Okay.
And then he gets on the HEB Center a month after that, and he fucking killed.
Is he road touring or anything? Or
he works at the mothership now. I think
Oh.
he opens for a couple of the guys. I mean,
It's
naturally being over there, but man, he's fucking great, dude. I support the shit out of that guy, and I want everybody to know about him too, because his level of joke writing is just so, you know, it's up there, man.
I support the dick out of his shit.
There's just some people where like whenever you see them try a joke, and maybe it's because he was like at my mic or something. I got to see him when like nobody was around, and I've seen like, you know, stuff that he's like just throwing out there, and then him being like, okay, fuck, I guess that one doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then he does another one, and it just destroys. You know, it's just so cool to see that come up.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the videos? Like, there's at least one video out there of Seinfeld doing that.
Yeah.
Just he's got a
Trying some
notebook
stuff.
on a stool, and he's at Comedy Cellar or something, and he's just going back to it. He's got the pen in his mouth. He's like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
that, and then he
There's something there.
Yeah.
I love the when he eats shit on Comedian, the documentary.
Yeah.
Which comedian? Which documentary?
I think it's just called Comedian.
Yeah, he made a shit.
I think it's called Comedian, like 2002 or something. Like it was a long time ago.
It was the story of what happens if you're a mid-level open micer and Seinfeld takes you on the road.
Oh, okay. It's basically that movie, that Adam Sandler movie,
Funny People.
Funny People, where he just decides to take Seth Rogen, who's completely inexperienced, on the road with him to open for him, and he's dying.
I need to watch that. I don't think I've seen that.
You ever seen Funny People? Oh man,
maybe I haven't.
Funny People.
Dude, there's a lot of footage in that Comedian documentary of Jerry just eating dick.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like there's one where he goes to a club and he's
eating dick.
He does like 2 jokes and then he's like, and the other thing, and he goes, oh my God, I'm forgetting the whole thing.
I'm forgetting the whole thing.
And they're all laughing. They're like, ah, like the nervous laughter of like
Yeah,
the whole crowd. Like they're in it with him, but he's like, ah. And he goes, oh my God, I practiced it all day. And he's like, I can't believe this is happening right now. I can't, like, you know, when you're like fucking really bombing on stage.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't believe it. Sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. And then there's an awkward silence. And then he goes, God, I thought of it all day. And now he's like really having like a fit about it on stage, and he left it all in there.
Wow.
I thought that was really humbling personally.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, there's lots of people in that movie. Ray Romano, Chris Rock, Gary Shandling, Colin Quinn. There's lots of people in there. I'll have to watch that again. I remember it from way back, but
It has him, and then
over
there's
20 years ago at this point.
there's another comedian in it who's like, he's like not like the bad guy, but he's like Jerry it's a lot of editing the way they make it out to be, where like Jerry's like the positive comedian, and then there's the other guy who's like super vain. You know, he's like, everybody out here's fucking everybody out here's, you know, fucking wants to fuck you over. They want to gatekeep you, and I'm one of the greatest comics that ever lived, and they just don't want to book me because they're jealous. Like there's like a guy in that documentary.
Have you ever seen The King of Kong?
Of Kong?
King
Kong.
King of
Donkey
Kong?
I don't think so.
The Donkey Kong documentary?
Mm-mm.
You
Is it
have to
good?
watch that. Before anything else that we've recommended you watch, watch that first. It's a
I'll
great
watch that.
documentary. Oh god, it's about a guy trying to break the Donkey Kong world record, and you find out that basically the record keepers on the internet is a clique of the most autistic, retard, elitist nerds, and they're all arcade game players. And there's a good guy and there's a bad guy, and the bad guy is this guy named Billy Mitchell or Bill Mitchell, and he is the biggest, like,
He brushes his
Asperger's y piece of shit. Like he's and
mullet.
everybody
He brushes his mullet. He has a
yeah,
mullet.
he's got a mullet, and he thinks he's like the coolest guy in the world, and everybody are like his sycophants. Like the entire scene of arcade game record holders are this pathetic little insular scene, and they all worship the ground that Billy Mitchell walks on. And he's just such a piece of shit. And this guy's a high school teacher from like Seattle or something.
Yeah.
And so he's going in trying to, and they treat him like absolute shit. Like he's the outsider coming in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of those where the documentary, there's such a storyline to it that it feels like they massaged it. But apparently this is how it all happened.
Yeah, like that guy's actually that much of a dick.
And now he's had all his, I guess it's been proven that he's cheated, and he's had all his records removed, and he's been suing people back and forth, and like he's basically Donald Trump. He's like the Donald Trump of the arcade game high score Guinness Book of World Record people. And he's sued YouTubers. He's sued all kinds of people because he has a chain of restaurants and a hot sauce that I guess sells pretty well in
Donkey
Florida.
sauce.
Yeah.
So he's got the money.
Right. He has
It's-
the money to actually
yeah, it's
sustain,
just-
like trying to
oh,
like
God.
hush people up. There's a lot of hush.
Yeah,
bullshit.
the King of Kong is what I recommend you watch. It's
I'd love to watch that. I'll probably message y'all at a certain point so that way you can tell me the
Yeah.
name.
I wonder if it's on anything.
At this
Ooh.
point, you can find everything on fucking Solar Movie or
Yeah, you can
anything.
probably find it anywhere. I'm just wondering if it's on on streaming.
Do you play
service.
Like-
GTA ever?
Yeah.
I got all the new stuff.
What do you mean?
Oscar Guzman rides again.
Oh, I haven't played in a long time.
Well,
I
they
don't
just
know.
did this thing where you. Do you play online at all?
No,
Online?
I don't fuck with online. Last time, I'm not shitting you. The last game that I ever played online that I actually had a good time with
Yo,
was
I don't fuck
Halo
with
3.
online. Yeah.
Ever since Halo 3, I haven't done online. I tried Call of Duty online, too fast. I tried Battlefield online, too fast. I don't think I fuck with the style anymore. I'm a storyline gamer.
Ghost of Tsushima online is fine.
That one's different because it's cooperative.
Yeah.
That one's like really fun. And you're kind of like not fighting real samurai like other people. Did they ever include that where you fight other people?
Mm-mm.
They never did that?
No, just waves of enemies.
Yeah, see.
So
I can do that. I can team up with some guys and kill a bunch of bots.
Team up with a couple guys, kill some bots, have some fucking waffles.
It's on Prime Video for 3 more days.
Fucking take shots of weed, root beer.
Oh, it can
Take some marijuana root beer shots.
I bet I
Forget
can.
about it.
I bet I can get access to that.
Listen to some hair rock.
Hair rock.
It's Boston. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Not a girl, just let me think about smelling your pussy.
What was that genre of music that was like?
Jefferson Starship.
Yeah. They all have that same melody. Yes. But the first line was always like, yes. There's like 8 songs that start off with that same exact melody though. And even Electric Light Orchestra has it in Twilight. They do it at the beginning.
Christopher Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Arthur's theme. The Arthur movie, the drunk British guy. Have you been up there, Eric?
Hmm?
You been to New York?
Billy, New York?
Have you been to New York?
No, I want to go. I want to particularly. I have like my little fantasy of like I have to go there one day for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get booked on something and I get to go do this cool stage. Like like how much of a goal it is to do the Comedy Cellar stage.
Yeah.
Like that's,
That's scary. The guys are in the back talking shit.
Oh yeah, of course they are. But just to have even been on a stage like that, like it was such
Patrice isn't there anymore. You get murdered.
Yeah, it's not as scary now that Patrice is dead.
It's safe. So
Dude.
safe now after the black guy died.
Dude, I just saw Rich Voss earlier. I forgot to say that. I literally looked to my left and he was standing fucking not even 10 feet away.
Where?
Downtown.
Just around outside?
Yeah, he was over by Sanjak.
I wonder.
Behind Mothership.
He was probably doing Mothership shit.
Moon Tower. I think Moon Tower Comedy Festival is going on.
What was it, South by Southwest?
But I think it's happening at the same time.
Moon Tower's always in April.
I thought somebody said it was happening too.
There may be Moon Tower related shows.
Yeah.
But the actual Moon Tower Comedy Fest is always in April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a Moon Tower stage event thing.
Moon Tower South by Southwest.
Yes. But yeah, Rich Voss was just standing there. I couldn't believe it. I literally watched his fucking the roast of Rich Voss a week ago. A week ago. I'm not even kidding. I was also like 5 minutes before that looking at a post that he put up on Instagram. And then when I looked over to the left and I saw him, I was like, whoa.
So my best South by Southwest is, or my best South by Southwest story is this is maybe it's either 2010 or 2011. And back then you could just, you could still do this, but it was even better back then. You could just go downtown and hang out and go to different bars, and there was always something going on. There was a band playing, there was a special event, there was something you could RSVP for or whatever. There were so many free, especially during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the nights where it just started, it was probably like a Monday night or a Tuesday night, my sister-in-law came out, and then two or three of my friends went and hung out, and because she was real into Etsy, and Etsy was brand new at this point, and there was apparently an Etsy fashion show going on at one of the bars.
Etsy.
So we showed up at watched this fashion show. We got fucking drunk as shit and just started, critiquing all the dresses and the models and stuff, loudly, obnoxiously.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty packed thing, so we weren't taking all the attention or whatever. So we get done. We're completely hammered. We stumble down to the Dirty Dog Bar, which is all the way down, past 6th and Red River. So if you go past Red River, the Dirty Dog Bar is all the way. It's past Velveeta Room and Esther's Follies and all that stuff. And as we're passing, we see, I don't know, I guess we see I guess it was the Velveeta Room, Jesus, posters, or maybe it was Esther's Follies. I don't know. I don't know what had a bigger crowd, but it was posters saying that John Oliver was doing stand-up.
Oh, cool.
This is the year before John Oliver hosted The Daily Show for that summer that Jon Stewart was off making a movie.
Yeah.
So he was just one of the correspondents that was on it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think he just had a stand-up special come on Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Forgot
it's
about
cool,
John
John Oliver's here. So we go into Dirty Dog Bar. We start drinking more. We are sitting at one of those tables that's right at the window and if the window's open or the door's open, you can people walking by on the street.
Right.
John Oliver walks by. And I just, my sister-in-law hits me on the shoulder and points, and I go, John, come here,
Yeah.
He comes over. I was like, dude, I just saw your stand-up special. It was great or whatever. And he had his wife or his girlfriend or whoever with him.
Oh, yeah.
And so we shake his hand. He's like, oh, yeah, thanks, guys, whatever. And she's kind of like, come on, like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got to go. And I was like, if she wasn't there, I probably could have got him to come in and hang out with us. So then the next day, we're out doing that South by stuff, and Aziz I follow comedians on Twitter. This is 2011 Twitter.
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari makes a post saying, hey, free comedy show today at Frank. You know what Frank is? The hot dog restaurant that's right down there.
I know of what
between
you're talking
5th, 4th, and 6th on Congress area.
I haven't been into it personally, but I know what you're talking about.
So we're like, dude, let's just go over there. It's not. He said what time it was going to be 3 hours. So let's just go hang out at Frank. So we go and sit down at the bar at Frank, and we start drinking. and we tell the bartender chick, we're like, hey, so there's supposed to be a comedy show here. Can we just like hang out until it starts? And she said, actually, we're going to close, and then everybody has to go line up outside, and then we're going to reopen, and then you get in and watch the show. So we go get in line. We're like the 12th people in line. There's a pregnant woman right in front of us, and who's waiting also. And over the next 2 hours, people just start cutting in line, just blatantly.
Yeah.
And so by the time they open the doors and start letting people in, we're like the 100th people in line. And earlier, the pregnant woman in front of us was getting mad about it. And so she went up to the guys at working the door before they started letting people in. She was like, we've been waiting here for an hour and a half. We were the 12th people in line. And now the people have been cutting, and we're way, way back there. This is ridiculous. And they said, there's nothing we can do about that. So she comes back to us. They start letting people in. They let her in, and then they go, no more, we're at capacity. And she turns around to the door guy, and she goes, no, these guys were waiting with me the entire time. And because the door guy remembered her from earlier coming and complaining, he turns to me and he goes, how many do you have? And I say 3. And he goes, you 3, no more. They let us in. We're the last people they let in. We're like, holy shit, fuck.
And they say the pregnant are the worst. Come on.
Yeah, so we run and grab her a water, and we grab her a chair to sit in and all that stuff. And the place is completely packed, and we're waiting for this
punch her in the
comedy
stomach
show.
just for good measure.
While we're waiting for this comedy show to start, then the doors open again, and they let some more people in. And we turn around, and it's Michael Cera.
Holy
And
shit.
Michael Cera walks up, stands right next to me, and I look at him, and I just say, hi, you look like all of your movies. Because that look that he has in Superbad and every other movie, he looked exactly like that. So it's I can't remember who the first person was, but then it's Eugene Merman and it's Aziz Ansari just standing in the middle of Frank doing their stand up to us. There's probably 45 minutes to an hour
Doing their stand up to us.
Yeah. Eugene
They're
Merman
just standing there.
Eugene Merman has all his posters with things because he's kind of one of those prop comedians that has signs and graphs and things.
Yeah.
And they're all great. And then we, of course, they hang out and meet everybody afterwards or whatever. But yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna top these South by moments.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
So yeah, it was pretty. That's my best South by, especially as far as comedy goes. Now I've seen a lot of good music and stuff during South by Southwest, but
God, what a trip! That would have been insane. I would have freaked out if I saw Michael Cera, especially like back then.
Yeah,
because it was a lot more relevant.
And back then you could, I mean, it's still like that now, but like you could just see, famous people or people who were in movies and actors and stuff like that. Like there was a couple years later during South by Southwest, my brother and I were walking down 6th Street and we walked past this guy and my brother goes, "Hey, that's an actor or something. He was on The Pacific." And so I turn around and we look at him and he pulls up like the cast members of The Pacific or whatever. It's Rami Malek, the guy who ended up winning the Oscar for playing Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And he was there promoting the pilot episode of Mr. Robot.
I was going to say
with Christian Slater,
the Mr. Robot guy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. South by was always fun, but I haven't been out for South by since the COVID at least. Like,
do you think it's diminished or you just don't know?
It's like Burning Man.
It's different.
now. It's like the corporations have taken over and the tech culture and it used to be. I mean, it used to be in the 90s up through the mid 2010s. You could just go downtown and hang out and
it's kind of like
see famous bands, see people. You could get into free shows. You could have there's free drinks everywhere. There's free beer at all these different things that they would do because there was the so and so party and there was always these companies would have their parties where they would have like
Fader Fort, bruh.
Fader Fort.
See you fucking Fader Fort.
It was a whole. It was just a whole thing. It was, but I mean, and it still is like that. It's just that now
Pitchfork
Austin is
taking
so
over.
big, and there's
I know
so many.
There's money behind everything.
Yeah, it's
so
like it's like
all
how
official.
the rich people started going to Burning Man.
Yeah. And
it's I would say that's probably worse in the case of Burning Man. Like it's more of a betrayal of what it's supposed to be about.
Sure, because there's at least artists.
Because South by Southwest was always there's record companies and movie studios and the interactive and tech companies and things like that and then for a while we did our own comedy show at Don's Depot, which is where my old podcast was. What I told you about the Drunk Cast or whatever. And we've had oh god, who's probably the person who's done the best from our crowd of people? Probably Ariel Isaac Norman. You know her?
Yes. Yes.
Very, very androgynous.
Yes.
Lesbian.
Her like username is a good joke. Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen something because she always has short hair.
Yeah. Fucking what the
I mean, she's toured with. She's open for Louis.
It's like Ellen Androgynous or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like something like that.
Yeah, she's open for Louis. Louis name dropped her on Rogan's podcast.
When I visited Austin, the thing that made me convinced to move here,
Yeah.
I came here to see Louis and Kill Tony in a weekend. And so this was before Mothership was even, it wasn't even a club yet.
Yeah.
Kill Tony was over at the Vulcan.
Yeah.
And I went to go see Louis at the, at the Moody.
Right.
So I go see Louis, and Ariel opened up for him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool because he came on the PA first, and he's like, you know, it's like dark and everything. There's nobody on the stage, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please put away your phones, and if
You had a
you
whole
don't
voice.
mind, I'm just fucking with you guys. It's me." And everybody goes,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Guys, I'm gonna be on in like 10 minutes. There's a new friend of mine. She's really, really fucking good at comedy.
Yeah.
It would mean the world if you guys would sit back and listen to her stuff because she's fucking incredible, and I know she's going to make you guys laugh your ass off."
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack happening. In the background.
Yeah, Ariel's really, really, really good. And then, so get this. I had surmised, just because I knew Louis and Joe List were working together a lot.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I think they've been touring with each other because they were on all of the podcasts
Well, and then he was on
together.
his movie. Was that before his movie?
Yeah,
or
July. It was like right after what is it called? July the 4th?
I think, yeah.
It was like maybe like 2 or 3 months after July the 4th came out.
Right.
July 4th came out. And Joe List hadn't announced dates, but he had like some pop-up dates or
Yeah,
something
right,
like that.
right.
And so I look online, and he just happens to be playing at Cap City in like 2 hours from
Yeah.
then. Like I went to the restroom during Louis' show.
Okay.
Like towards
yeah.
the end, I was like maybe like 45 minutes into it.
Right.
And I saw that they had tickets at Cap City, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to go see that. Wouldn't it be cool if I got to see both of them in one night? And so I run all the way the fuck over there. This is like a Friday or something like that.
Yeah.
And I bought the tickets weren't available online anymore. And I go up to the lady and I'm like, "Hey, I know I'm late. It won't let me buy them anymore because it's past the time. Do y'all have any more seats left?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, let me see real quick. I think we had some VIPs that didn't show up." And so I get to just walk in and I'm literally front row. And as a person who doesn't even like really do comedy yet,
Yeah.
you know, I just like that's mind blowing. You know,
Right,
I watched his wife go on. She literally, as I'm sitting down, they're like introducing blah blah blah, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
She does like 20 minutes, and then Joe List goes up. And at the time,
Nice.
I was a huge Joe List fan.
Huge.
Huge Joe List. I was just really obsessed with both of them.
Huge.
Anybody that has to do with Louis, I kind of lose my shit. But I'd also liked all of like Joe List's like early specials and stuff. You know.
Yeah. I just like his podcast with Rainin. Have you ever seen that? Where they just talk about movies. Joe and Rainin talk movies.
No.
They had Louis on talking about Scorsese on one episode. It was pretty interesting.
I've
Yeah.
only ever heard Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays
no,
with
this
Stories.
This is his other. It's Joe List and Rainin. What's his name?
Wow.
It's like Joe and Rainin talk movies.
God, I would love to hear that.
You could get caught between my asshole and my titties.
But dude, like, you know what I mean? Like coming
I
from
know
like
it's crazy.
that tiny town that I tell y'all, like I come from the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere. Like anything that's even slightly like, oh, like I got to see like my favorite band or my artist. That was just like the highlight of my last 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
And then I remember like the next day I went to the Sunday Creek mic and Casey Rocket opens.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a local? You know? Like I was just it convinced me immediately.
Right.
And you know, whenever I went back to Hereford, or when I went back to Amarillo, that next week I started comedy.
Nice. Yeah.
So it was like January or something like that.
Yeah. It was. What was really cool is I went into the Comedy Store in like 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Al Madrigal, Fortune Feimster had just like she was just like a comedy store comedian, and she was on there. So I saw her. I was like, oh my god, she is hilarious.
Yeah.
Greg Fitzsimmons was on, and then
I've seen Greg. That was my first
Mark
show.
Maron. Mark Maron talked about things that he was talking about on his podcast, because I listened to WTF back then. I think that, by the way, WTF jumped the shark after Obama. It was never as good as whenever he had the sitting president of the United States.
Obama,
That's actually really.
the long-legged
but anyway,
Mac Daddy.
so he basically did, and he'll do a. It was weird because he'll do a thing where he'll lock eyes with somebody in the crowd and kind of do his set at them.
Yeah.
And he was doing that. He was like, I was one of the people that he was like doing his set at.
Oh, cool.
Because I was like, yeah, I know these stories or whatever. And then sure enough, not on the list, not on the schedule, but they're like, okay, and now Bill Burr. Bill Burr dropped in, did 20 minutes to my face, like right in our face, and yelled at my friend for texting because he was texting somebody, I'm watching Bill Burr right now, and he saw this whole fucking generation is gonna die of thumb cancer, and just did a whole thing. It was great. So yeah.
Alrighty, what time is it?
It is 10:22.
It's 10:20, guys.
Yeah.
This is I don't know what's up with the time portal in here.
Yeah.
I literally feel like I've been here for like 45 minutes. Wow, I must be locked
Later,
in.
Josh.
As the kids say, locked in. Later, Josh.
Locked in.
I'm
All right,
locked
I'm going
in.
to stop the stream. Eric, thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out.
buddy.
Thanks for
Great,
recording.
great seeing you.
Yeah.